Hello, everyone. You're watching the Asian American Herald, a new media network featuring the Asian Americans in the capital region of New York. You can also watch a recording of this show and all of our previous episodes from our Facebook page, Asian American Herald of Capital Region. My name is Ruthie Natanmai, and I'm a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology, writer, and creative who was born and raised in the capital region. Tonight, we're honored to speak with Ravi Shankar Ishmael and Poonima Singh about the Guyanese Indian American community of the capital region and Guyanese history. Ravi and Poonima, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. So I'd like to start by asking you to take a minute to introduce yourselves a little bit more and tell our viewers about your background. Where did you grow up? What did you do? What are some of your interests? Maybe if you'd like to start.
Hi, viewers. My name is Ravi Shankar Ishmael. I born in Guyana and lived part of my life over there, then came to America. Here in America, I live upstate New York, and I am the president of Schenectady Hindu Temple and also the Guyanese Community Center, the center. I am an electrical contractor.
That's amazing. So how long have you lived in the capital region?
Approximately 16 years.
16 years. That's great. And how long have you been involved with the Schenectady Hindu Temple?
Around 8 years.
That's amazing. Poonima?
Okay. My name is Poonima Singh. I live here in Schenectady, New York, which is upstate. I live with my husband, my son, my daughter, and my eldest son got married, and I am a grandma. And I work in the Schenectady City School District on special ed between the age group of the grade 9 to 12 grade. And I grew up in Guyana in a village called the Albion. And Guyana is in South America. And I in 2003 to migrate to the United States.
That's amazing. So, are you part of any associations or groups within the capital region?
Yes. I am the organizing secretary for the Schenectady Hindu Temple. And also, I am the president of the Guyanese American Association. They call it GAAS, GAAS. I'm the president for the organization. Schenectady, mostly, but the Guyanese Schenectady members. And yes.
That's great. So, would you both be able to expand on your roles both within the Schenectady Hindu Temple and the Guyanese American Association? Just talk a bit about what you do, what inspired you to take up these roles?
First thing I would like to bring to the viewers, the Guyanese Association, which is GAS, which Ms. Poonima is the president of, and Schenectady Hindu Temple is a religious organization, which part of the building is the Guyanese community, which is two separate entities. But we all work together to get things done in the Guyanese community.
That's incredible. So what inspired you to join this community?
Well, the inspiration that whenever you live in a community, you want to see the community function better every day. And looking around the community, there are so many things that need to be done into the community. We do have new people migrate to upstate New York, Guyanese, and there are so many things that they need to be educated about. So that is the aim and objective. How can we better serve the community and help them in their daily life so they can achieve their life?
That's great. So what is your specific role within the Schenectady Hindu Temple?
Well, I am the president of the temple.
Okay.
And we do have a very inspiring group of people to work with. and they inspire you further because they all has a lot of ability in them and have very positive ideas of doing things. For example, the Schenectady Hindu Temple, along with the Guyanese Community Center, we do not only promote religious worship, but we also do many things into the community to help the community.
Hmm.
Like recently, we had the police chief and the mayor using the building with some people to keep some meeting there downstairs, the community center. Then we have twice a year, we have the Guyana Consulate uh, coming all the way from Manhattan to Schenectady to help the community, the people who need passport or have some document back home that they need to be rectified. Some of the people that who badly need a birth certificate or something, they can get it and all done through the temple, which we save them from go to the city to get these things or have to travel up back home to Guyana to get these things. So, and we do a lot more for the community with the Guyanese Community Center. We facilitate weddings, fundraising for the community, many more other social activity is going on there.
That's great. That sounds like a lot of great work.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Purnima?
And our main idea too is to get our culture, our tradition. As a main to live up. We don't want it to die. We want our younger generation to know the root where they came from, how we stand in the community, how we associate ourselves growing up in this foreign land. We bring our culture with us, and we want to carry on this great tradition. And we have a youth group, and we are there to make sure that at the temple, as the community, our our aim, our achievement, our education, um, everything is inspiring. We want to make sure that we are we are promoting and we are developing, and that the generation to come next, it will not die away. It will live on. We will be we must be that respectable organization, and we must be that respectable, entity, and as well as remarkable. So our achievement is like where and how we must be be our growing, our growth must be there.
That's great. Thank you so much. So, I'd like to
You're
speak
welcome.
a bit more about recent events in Schenectady, specifically the public meeting hosted by the temple between Schenectady city officials and Yadishwar Vinder Prasad, the man who was taken into custody following the controversial arrest that was caught on video as well. Could you please share for our viewers that may be unaware of the situation the details of the circumstance and some more information about the meeting that did take place?
I would like to answer that part.
Yeah.
Looking at the tape that was on the internet that comes from the community and looking at the police tape, we come to a conclusion by looking at both tapes. And there was a lot of tension. And these tension between the police and the citizen, because of simple misunderstanding, can lead to many difficult situations. So we did reach out to the councilman, and the councilman reached out back to us. And the meeting was then organized, and the venue was our building. Unfortunately, I was not there, but we did coordinate some discussion by myself, and I have some very, very intelligent members of our temple, including Purnia Singh, Mr. Derek Singh, and George Ramsden, and we look at the issue. So I was not there, but I heard that the meeting was very, very much fruitful. But that being said, I had been interviewed by the newspaper concerning the said incident, and I give my honest opinion about it. And that led for a discussion with myself, the police chief, and the mayor. That meeting was successful, and what I admire about the police is that they organize lots of programs for we to share our view with the community. How can we better work with the police to bring reform to the police? And that is history because these police are stepping down to the community to work with the community, and that is great. So our job is to get the community and get many people so that we can sit and discuss some of the issue between the police and the citizen. And we want them to know how the police operate, and we wanted to educate the citizen how they should conduct themselves when they are approached by a police, so that we both can be on the same page and prevent conflict and major destruction. So that was the meeting, but the meeting did not end there. We are continuing. We in our temple and the Guyanese Community Center. In next 2 days, we'll have an emergency meeting in our temple to discuss the strategy and how we can go about in the community and then get back to the police chief and the mayor and look at the situation. The meeting was such a fruitful meeting that we did not only looking at the reform, but we get into the depth that some of the things that cause problem in the society, we even get down to poverty, of how we can able to get rid of poverty or to help to assist people, that kids can better go to school, better educate, better educated, so that they can understand the role of the police.
For sure. Yes, thank you so much. And I think you're definitely right in that education and understanding from both parties can lead to so much growth and so much less conflict in the future. And I think this meeting is a great step in creating that continuous education in Schenectady and the capital region and New York as a whole. So I applaud you for that meeting. Even though you weren't there, I think that what you're saying and the what was accomplished during that meeting is no small feat. It's a great job. So
But that was the aim of the meeting, to prevent any confusion and
yes,
to help. And in that meeting, there were lots of community leaders that was invited to be there. And they were, at the end of the meeting, they were better educated about the meeting, so they went out there and we helped to get the problem resolved.
right. Thank you so much. Punima, from the side of the Guyanese American Association, do you have any insight into this meeting or conflict in general?
Well, we are working and we are listening and observing. And then, we want to work with the city, we want to work with the cops, the police department, because, we want to be safe. We want to act as also we want to develop have like peaceful and regulation, and we want like we must be like home. We must be like we are our livelihood, our community. Everything is at homely and safe, and we are very friendly environment and understandable. So with with like issues about what happened and sit down and discuss every this issue was a great achievement for us. Like listening, and it seemed that like we were all on the same page. We all went and we were like exchange of communication, and we were satisfied. The mayor, the chief of police, conflicts, messages, what happened then, what happened now, what will happen after that. Everything was very satisfactory. And the aim for, for improvement and dialogue will continue.
For sure. Yeah, and I think that continuation of the dialogue is the most important part. So I applaud you both for doing such a great job handling that situation.
Shruti, before you move on to the next topic,
Yes.
I would like to add to this, and why I would like to add, I think it's very important, and I think this can help to keep the peace in the community.
Mhm.
My honest opinion that I always taught my children then, and even to the general community, if a police come to arrest you and he said that he's going to arrest you, let him arrest you without putting up a fight to create any situation. Now, when you go to the station and you do not like what the cops did, then your right is that you can make a complaint. And in that kind of way, we can move along without having all these kinds of problems that we are seeing in these present time. So that's my opinion. If the cops came to arrest you, comply. If you disagree with what he's doing, go to his class and make a complaint. And I think that can help to resolve many problems.
Thank you. Thank you both so much for speaking on that. It's such a great thing that the temple hosted this public meeting to address the circumstance, and thank you for expanding upon what happened and delving on some details. So,
You're welcome.
I'd like to switch gears a bit and take a closer look at the historical and history behind the Guyanese community and talk about both of your personal experiences and any stories you may have heard growing up. So, firstly, can you both speak on the movement of the Indian community's arrival to Guyana? Did either of you hear stories from parents, grandparents, or other older relatives and acquaintances about what that journey was like? And their early life challenges in a foreign land, especially when there was little to no modes of communication.
Well, according to Diana history, in 1838, the 5th of May, that's when the immigrant came from India. And we heard terrible story about the condition that they bring them with and the promise that they were given was not true. And they went through a lot of suffering.
Mhm.
The type of suffering that they went through when they came here in Guyana, it's just like immigrant was just the new name of slavery. Yes, that, not immigrant, indentured, sorry. Yes. So they go through a lot, they suffer a lot like any other Guyanese, and until, and one of the most important things, despite of all the suffering they went through, they still keep their culture that they bring with them from India, and that's what we are doing right
Punima?
Yes, well, we were able to have some thoughts from her, some idea. Came from India because my grandmother usually talked to her about our route back then. And her mom came from India. I don't know exactly Bandaras, somewhere like that, from Bandaras.
Mhm.
And they arrived in Ghana. That time was British Guyana. And they did not have like what they were promised. But whatever they had to make use of it. They work on the sugar plantation at that time. And they live in poor conditions. The house was called Lodi, and they live in those conditions. But it is amazing of their determination and their aim that they came for, they came for came for something, and because of those hardship and whatever they had or whatever they went through, they still made it. And now our generation lived to that. Um, Guyana developed after we have our independence from the British. We Guyana developed, and beautiful education start go up, and then they step in political corruption in Guyana, and and we migrate to a better land, USA, and that is where we are here today.
For sure. Those stories must be really inspiring to you, um, especially now thinking back as well. And so, when coming to the capital region, keeping in mind those stories and everything that you know about Guyanese history, what was your experience like coming here, an area with a growing but nevertheless rather small minority population?
Well,
Um,
when
well, it was challenging. I mean, it was challenging.
Yeah. Um,
if I could step
All right,
in,
Ravi, go.
coming up over here, it's a totally different culture from where we came from. But nevertheless, we came to this country to live. So it's our duty to learn their culture. Learning their culture does not, we did not give up our culture, we still keep it. We still take part into the American culture, which I do love them a lot because we live here. And we should say thanks to America that they allow us so that we can keep our culture. And we move along well. And we try to form these types of organization so we can be able to promote our culture further and help to understand other culture too.
did you find it difficult to hold on to your culture?
No,
No.
uh, it's hold on to your culture. It's called for something called sacrifice, and if you make the sacrifice, you can keep it because it's American culture is totally different. But then if you embedded with that culture came from Guyana and your type of old school, you don't want it to let it go. But with the younger generation now that comes up and inherit both of the culture, I can't see what the future looks like, but we are trying to secure that future.
Unima, do you have any thoughts on that?
I love Schenectady. This is home. It's very much developed. Like we make our home comfortable. We have so much Guyana in it. Um, our gardening, our everything is like Guyana. We don't lose that Guyana in it, and our adaptation. We adopt, and we are happily living, and the community is great together. We love living in Schenectady. The kids love the schooling. Education is growing good. I mean, the kids are either in elementary to high school to college. Education is there. Um, our custom, our tradition, which is there. Everything is, secure. And we love Schenectady.
It's amazing.
Schenectady is indeed a beautiful place.
Yes,
It's more family oriented, not congested,
Yes. Mhm.
good schools.
certainly. Yes. So, looking at present day, do you feel that the Guyanese community in Schenectady and the capital region is growing? And has the formation of groups such as the Guyanese American Association of Schenectady and the Hindu temples made it more welcoming for those within the community to make the move to the capital region?
Well, we have a very good relationship with everyone in the community, and we like. the program that we keep in our community center facilitate the general community, not one sets of people in those. Like when I said about the things that we do with the Guyana Consulate when it came there, and many more other social organizations. It's the general community that uses our building, and we get along well with everyone. That's the reason that we can have religious activity there. We can have the mayor, the police chief, and many more different people associate with us because we try to associate with everyone because whenever you live in an environment, you have to work along with everyone.
For sure. Punima?
Yes, I agree with Ravi. As we settle here in Schenectady, um, we are like a big family, and we extend to other organization. We adopt, um, like we work along, and we are interested, and we allow like we want to get more involved in the community, welcoming. Um, we help with jobs, like somebody come and they're looking for jobs. We help. We we do like welcoming and inviting. So Schenectady can be like a big family friendly environment and living like home. Schenectady Hindu Temple, as well as the community center, is involved with so many organizations that we want to get involved with family life, um, community service. I mean, everything organization and organized, and to be comfortable.
For sure. And I think a good sense of community can really go a long way. So that's definitely a very important thing to have. So that's really great that you are so happy with living in Schenectady and so comfortable with this community. That's really an incredible thing to have. So um, we're running a little short on time, so I have one last question for you both. Um, as we've spoken about present day, looking forward, what goals or aspirations do you have for the Guyanese community in Schenectady?
Um, my goal is I would like to encourage as much of the Guyanese community and also other social groups or different community to work towards education, especially the Guyanese community. Educate yourself more. Education never too less to have, and try to hold high office. That's is my future goal to help the Guyanese community.
It's great.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with Ravi that we are here and we are here to live. We are here that our children, our grandchildren live in Schenectady, and we will we will try our very best that all our Guyanese brothers, sisters, our all our associates, I mean, other culture, everything we adopt and we live, and we make Schenectady great. And we will try to follow all rules and regulation as much as we can, and let peace prevail, and be kind and nice to our neighbors and our family, and we live.
That's great. Thank you so much to both of you for joining me this evening on our show. I really appreciate it and everything that you were able to share with us, me and our many viewers. So thank you so much. For everyone else, I am Shruti Natanmai, and our wonderful guests for today were
You're
Ravi
welcome.
Shankar and Punima Singh. The Asian American Herald is a Facebook-based news media outlet dedicated to discussing topics and building community amongst the Asian Americans in the capital region. Please send us your story ideas and look for the recording of this show on our Facebook page. Have a good evening, and thank you again.
Thank you too, and thank you, viewers.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you. You're welcome.